Hiya, and welcome to Social Media Strategy in Under 20 Minutes. This video is to help you understand what goes into a social media strategy and how you can create and implement one in-house for your small business. Let's get into it. First, just some of the things that we're going to cover in this video. The first part we're going to talk about is SMART goals, what they are, how to build them, and how you can create them for your own small business. Target audience personas, choosing what social media platform your small business should be on, how to audit and optimize your social media platforms, what you should put together for a content strategy that allows you to show up in big ways in small amounts of time, an organic engagement strategy that allows you to connect with your ideal client, and then, of course, how are you going to track and measure this whole thing? First step, SMART goals. What is a SMART goal? A SMART goal is a really popular framework that allows the goal setter to be able to go a lot more in depth and gain clarity around what it is that they have to do to achieve those goals. So SMART goals stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. You can start to create SMART goals within your own business by first off identifying the general goal that it is that you would like to achieve. Increasing web traffic, increasing followers on social media, increasing newsletter subscribers for your email marketing, whatever it is, start out by identifying the goal. Then you want to take the next step by getting very specific about that goal. When and why is going to help you achieve that goal and be able to see great results. By outlining all of these different pieces, it allows you to really see the efforts that go into making that goal. The next part is measurable. You want to take a look at the different analytics for social media and marketing that will allow you to be able to track your efforts around this goal. Now, this piece specifically is very important for small business owners and more importantly for this social media strategy, as we are going to be spending the last slide of this talking about tracking and measuring your efforts. Number 4, obtainable. This is a two-part step. You're going to not only be talking about the action items that it will take to achieve this goal, but you're also going to be looking at the skills and capabilities within the business and make sure that it is actually achievable to be able to set this goal for you and your business. Next up, relevant. Is this goal relevant to your overall marketing goals and the things that you would like to achieve in your business? It is so important that our social media efforts are connected to our overall marketing efforts, as they can influence and really help convert by being all connected together and strategized in one place. Lastly, time bound. It's really important that we understand the time frame that you have to be able to achieve this goal. Are we looking at this year, next year, 5 years down the road, or is this something we'd like to achieve this quarter? All of those things allow you to be able to know how often you should be checking in with this goal and what it is that you should be tracking to know every week, month, quarter, or year to know if you're hitting those goals. Next up, ideal client personas. This is a huge, overwhelming piece for small business owners, but we are going to break it down here for you. There are 4 steps to building your ideal client personas. The first one is identifying who your ideal client is now currently within your business by looking at past and current clients' attributes. What parts of your clients do you love and respect and want to see more of in your future clients? This is the time where you jot those pieces down. The next piece is you want to conduct some market research. No two conducting of market research is going to look the same. Each business owner and strategy is just that tiny bit different, but some great places for you to start out are Statistica to look for data analytics to be able to infuse into your personas. Answer the Public, which is a great way to be able to know what it is that your ideal client is searching for online around your industry and niche, as well as ChatGPT, which can help you to be able to chart your attributes and be able to create your personas and give them a little bit more of a 3D feel to them. Once you've taken step 1 and 2, you're going to take all the information from those steps and you're going to put them into a persona template. We have one available on our website for you if you'd like to check it out. If not, any piece of paper and just understanding the different attributes of the ideal client persona is going to be very important. I'll show you an example of that here in just a second. Step 4 is going to be testing and refining. Once you have this persona outlined and detailed and named and you understand them on a deeper level, you're going to want to come back every now and then, monthly, quarterly, or yearly, to track these analytics and make sure that your ideal client is actually who you want to be speaking to and that you are speaking to that demographic when you are speaking to them. Now, there are two different types of attributes that go into ideal client personas. We have our demographics, which are age, location, income, and occupation. These are usually very fixed and numerical things. And then we also have psychographics, so motivations, desires, frustrations, mindsets. This allows you to understand what makes your ideal client tick and if they're going to be an impulse buyer or if you're going to need to nurture them a little bit more within your framework. This is a great example of some of the attributes that you're going to want to outline in your ideal client personas. Obviously, we want to give them a name and some sort of visual representation so that you can be able to connect with that on a deeper level. We want to be looking at things like their age, where they're located, their occupation, their marital status, what their family life is like, their motivations, their frustrations, where they're getting their information from, what interests them, what self-care practices are they doing, what kind of technology are they using, and where are they spending their time online and in real life. And then, of course, you want to understand those goals because it will help you to be able to understand how to market your service or product to them. Now, once we are done creating those target audience personas for our services and products, we want to be looking at these three things as we move into the next step of choosing our social media platforms. We want to look at the pain points of our ideal clients, where they're spending their time online and in real life, and the tech that they're using. All of these things will help you to make a very informed decision on where you're spending your time on social media for your small business. Next up, we are going to be choosing what social media platform your small business is going to be on. So we always recommend having a primary and a secondary for small business owners. Anything more than two platforms for a small business owner, you're kind of venturing into content creator territory. So we want to make sure that we're just having a primary that we're creating content for and a secondary that we're repurposing to. So think creating for YouTube and then repurposing to TikTok, because we're still making that video content and we're just repurposing it for a different format. Now, the other thing that you want to be tracking in this as well is what your other marketing efforts are as well. Do you have a blog? Do you have email networking? Are you out there in person networking? Do you have mailers? Do you do events? What is it that you're doing out there in other marketing efforts? And how can we relate and infuse your social media efforts into those pieces as well? So just a really quick overview. You really want to know and understand the different formats and functions of the platforms before making a decision. A lot of times small business owners will make the decision about which platform to be on based on what they want to be on or the platforms they feel comfortable showing up on. And really, a lot of times I will have it where a client is posting on Facebook, but their ideal client is spending time on TikTok, so they're never actually reaching their ideal client. So you want to make sure that the formats are something that, again, you have the capabilities for. Looking back in the attainable part of the goals, do you have video editing skills? Do you have things in place that can allow you to be able to execute on this very quickly? And the other thing is, what is the function of the platform, and is it relating to your overall goals that we talked about in step one? It is so important to have these things outlined and understand and really be able to hone in on these. Now we're moving into the auditing part of your social media strategy and how you can audit your current social media efforts and be able to tweak them and pivot them moving forward. So the first thing that I want you to do is open up Google and type in your company name and see where your website and other marketing efforts like your social media are landing. Are you landing on page 1? Are you landing on page 5? What does that look like for you? If you're landing on page 1, that means that your optimization and your keyword SEO is doing great and you should keep chugging on with what you have going on. If you are finding that you're on page 2 or farther, then you want to be taking a special look at the next topic that we're going to be talking about, which is optimization. Once you have Googled your company name, if you have a very broad industry like real estate or something that is very saturated, you're going to want to Google your name or the business name and then a location as well, just because it will be a lot easier to find something in a very saturated market like that. Once you have searched Google and found where your standings are, you're going to then want to go into the specific social media platforms and type in the business name as well and see if your username is coming up for that search. If it is not, again, we want to be taking a look at the optimization steps here in the next piece. Profile optimization has become so big since SEO capabilities have been infused into the social media platforms. So here are the main 6 parts of your social media platform that you should be making sure is optimized and infused with keywords. First up is your name line. You should have your niche industry category and or your location, a name, anything that makes sense for you and your business and will allow your ideal client to be able to find you online. The second thing is your profile photo should not only match across all of your social media platforms, but your Google My Business, your website, anywhere that there's visual representation of you, it should all be matching across the boards. This will gain so much trust and respect across your ideal client, knowing that they can trust that the platform or the profile is linked to you and bringing value to them. Bio copy. This is a great place to be able to put a description of your services, a call to action, and make sure that you have a physical link for your link in bio, not just copy inside of your bio. It can be very confusing in there, but I promise you having a clickable link is so much better for your ideal client. Speaking of link in bio, you want to make sure that your link in bio is somewhere that is sending them something valuable and informational to them, but also is beneficial to you. So whether this be a beacon with a bunch of links on it, directly sending them to a blog article or a newsletter sign up or anything like that, just making sure that it is valuable to you and helping them on the next step of their journey. Your contact buttons on social media are so important, but make sure that you are only putting out the contact information that you would like to be contacted on. If your business does not like to take phone calls, please do not put your phone number all over social media, as you will get phone calls from your ideal client. Lastly, branding. We want to make sure that your visual branding is very similar across all of your platforms. If you're using Canva, make sure that you have a brand kit attached into it so that you can copy and paste your fonts, your color palettes, and any of your style graphics that you need to be showing up to visually represent your business. Let's talk about what everybody wants to talk about, which is content strategy. If you have skipped ahead to this part of the video, I highly recommend going back and rewatching the beginning part of this video all the way through, as each step in the social media strategy builds on itself. And if you do not understand your ideal client personas that we built out in section 2, or know which platforms you're going to be showing up on that we outlined in section 3, then this can be very confusing and become very overwhelming. Now, there are two parts to the social media strategy. There is the planning side and there is the executing side. In the planning side, we're talking about core topics, subtopics, filming information, talking points, scripts, captions, hashtags, keywords. We're doing a lot of front-loaded work to make the back-end work just that much more simple. On the executing side of things, we are batch creating content, filming, graphic building, video editing, uploading, scheduling, doing everything that is necessary to get that content visually ready to be out to your ideal client. So let's break this down here. The first thing that you want to be focusing on, evergreen, is content that does not expire within your industry or niche and can stand the test of time. This can be how-to guides, FAQs, testimonials, case studies, industry trends, tips and tricks, and even benefits of your services in your ideal clients' lives. By starting out building your content database with evergreen content, you're allowing yourself to have a plethora of content that can be tapped into whenever you would like to then be able to focus on the other type of content, which is timely content. Timely content is something that has an expiration date around it or is created in the moment for a specific comment, person, or situation. Some examples of timely content can be seasonal promotions, current events, event participation, achievements and milestones, local events and news, seasonal tips, new service launches, and even replying to your audience's comments with data and market analysis and things of that nature are all timely and have an expiration date surrounding them. By focusing on evergreen content, creating that database, having that solid backing up point that you can plug and play from whenever you would like to, it allows you to be able to focus on timely content and showing up for your audience how they are asking you to. So how do you build and plan this elusive content? We start out by choosing our core topics, no more than 5. You want these to be overall arching themes in your business and allow you to have a big list of subtopics underneath them that relate to that core topic. So again, step 2, we're going to list out all the subtopics underneath each one of those core topics. From there, you're going to take those subtopics and build out content database outlines and be able to start creating content ideas from those topics. Each piece of content within your database should have a goal that you are trying to achieve with it. Are you trying to convert? Are you trying to educate? Are you trying to connect? What is it that the overall piece of content is going to be doing? And then within that content database, you're going to be outlining all of that content. So let's go through a quick example of my business so that I can show you how our content database works. Our core topics is social media strategy, target audience personas, content strategy, and organic engagement strategy. Our subtopics underneath them are all listed out, and they all relate to the big overall core topic. Now, you can take all of those subtopics and be able to bring them into your content database. And as you can see here on the left-hand side, there's a huge list of topics. Now, on the previous page here, as you can see, one of the subtopics that we have is KPIs. Now, the different ways that I've stretched that is there's 4 different ideas in here for KPIs. We have what are KPIs, KPIs we wished we tracked year 1, sign up for our newsletter to get the latest on KPIs. If you're struggling with KPIs, grab our DIY template. This is 4 different pieces of content that all relate to the subtopic of KPIs. So let's take that what are KPIs and bring it into the content outline build out. We first start out by, of course, outlining all this content information here on the top. We want to know what the content goal is, and it's educational. What is the pillar that it's relating to? We want to know what the content goal is. That's educational. We want to know what the content topic is, and that is the social media strategy. What platform are we creating this for, and what format is it going to be going into? We have a link straight to the content once it's done. The next piece that we talk about is the length and structure. How long is the piece of content going to be? What type of way is it going to be filmed? Vertical, horizontal, anything that we need to know about that. What are the talking points around the piece of content? As you can see, we have them all outlined here. We also have a script outline as well as where we're going to be filming the content and any types of props or location, any types of props or outfit changes that we might need to be able to do a batch creating day. We'll know then that we need this specific outfit or this specific prop to be able to create this piece of content. This is the planning side of content creation. We're now going to move into the executing side of content creation. I always like to recommend that once you have picked your primary and secondary and other marketing platforms, that you have that list handy when we're talking about your content strategy flow. I always recommend starting out with content creation process in the video spot, even if you have no intention of using video within your content or social media strategy. It is such a great place for you to be able to start and be able to repurpose into so many other places. Just as an example here, the graphic that we're looking at is starting with a long format video and being able to pull the audio for podcasts, be able to break that long form video down into short form video for other platforms, be able to pull the transcript for newsletter, be able to create graphics based off that transcript and a blog post off that transcript as well. So just from one video, we're able to create a lot of different content and break that down into a lot of different formats as well. So we want to make sure that we're starting with the video when we're batch creating, but for each individual business, it is up to you to understand what the strategy and flow is for you. Is it by starting out and creating the video, pulling the transcript, making the emails and blogs, and then moving into the editing side of things? And then what is the best process for you that allows you not to get burnt out? If you have any questions about how to create that process, please comment them down below. I would love to be able to help sort this out or know if this is a need within my audience. We have started creating and planning our content, but how are we showing up on social media? Organic engagement strategy stands for not paying for engagement or ads or anything like that, and just showing up exactly how it sounds, organically, with your time, with your efforts, and connecting with your ideal client and bringing them into your platforms. Now, really quick, I just want to touch on something of if you're building an audience or a community, it's really important to know as it really changes how your organic engagement tactics go. An audience is a group of people that relate to or interact with a brand, business, or influencer. That is the only way that the interactions go, is just between the audience and the person at the core. A community is a group of people that not only interact with a brand, business, or an influencer, but are interacting with each other as well. I always like to use the Swifties as an example, but I also like really using the Jeep community as well. It is a community of people that not only interact with and love Jeep, but they interact and love each other as well by waving to each other on the road, the rubber ducky tradition that they have, and so many different ways that they get together and celebrate the brand and each other. Understanding if you are building an audience or community is so important, and there's pros and cons to both sides of this. If this is something you'd like to see more information on, please comment it below. I would love to know if this is a need for you guys and if I should be creating more content around this topic. Now, some organic engagement examples that you can be tapping into is likes, comments, shares, saves, views, and follows. These are all things that you can be doing with anybody you see as your ideal client to be able to get visibility and awareness with them and bring them into your platform to be able to nurture them either on an audience or a community level. Now, the last step in all of this is tracking and measuring your social media efforts. I know it can feel like, why are we doing that? Why is it important? But truly, we don't know if the strategy is working and if we're reaching our goals and obtaining them if we're not tracking and measuring our efforts. So, going back to that first step of setting SMART goals, we want to look at the measurable, as it will let us know which analytics we want to be measuring. And we want to look at the time bound as well, as that will let us know how often we should be checking in with our goals, if we should be looking at them weekly, monthly, quarterly, yearly, what that looks like for us in a sense of a time frame. We do have a couple recommendations of softwares to be able to track and measure your efforts. We love later.com. It was built by social media managers and it allows you to be able to see a great overview of all your social media analytics. SEMrush is another great profile platform program that allows you to be able to tap into your social media analytics for free. And Google Analytics, if you are already using it, is a great thing to be able to hook up your social media analytics into, as you can get a really good full view of your entire marketing plan from inside of Google Analytics. That is all I had today. Thank you so much for coming to our TED Talk on social media strategy in under 20 minutes. If you have any questions about social media strategy, please leave them in the comment section below. I would love to know where to go more in depth and how to be able to help you as a small business owner get a hold on your social media strategy and DIY it in-house. See you next time.